And okay, here we go. The Unfiltered News from the Reality Zone, where political correctness is not spoken here, compiled by G. Edward Griffin. With all his editor, Cassandra Anderson, photo and humor by Joan Glover, proofreader by Tom Parker. And I'm getting these freaking pop-ups. I have to go through and kill that program. Okay, this is this week's comic strip. It shows the world on a powder keg, and you have the USA, the EU, the Ukraine, and Russia involved. Okay, and we're on the powder keg to World War III. Alright, here's this week's Unfiltered News that you may have missed. U.S. A recently released emails of IRS employee Louis Lenner reveal a drastic discrepancy between the scrutiny given to labor unions and conservative groups. For example, the IRS turned a blind eye when the National Education Association reported $24 million in political expenditures to the Department of Labor, but then reported that the IRS that they had zero political expenditures. The IRS shows no such leniency to conservatives. National Law Reviews, September 5th, 2014. Here we are. They don't care about the conservatives. They're all a bunch of progressives. Don't you know? Anyways. Russia and Ukraine leaders agreed to support the ceasefire in eastern Ukraine, but Moscow claims it is not party to the truce because it's not involved in fighting. Ukraine will host a U.S.-led military drills named Rapid Trident 14. That will include soldiers from NATO allies, Britain, Bulgaria, Estonia, Germany, Lithuania, Romania, and also alliances partners in Norway, Moldova, and Poland. Meanwhile, the civil war rages. So far, 2,600 people have been killed and more than 500,000 people have been forced to evacuate their homes. Sky News, Australia, September 4th. Video. BP Oil is facing an additional $18 billion in fines as a result of the Gulf Deepwater Horizon spill in 2010. A judge has ruled that BP was grossly negligent and reckless. The company already has paid about $42 billion and plans to appeal this ruling. The area is still toxic. Euronews, September 4th. And yeah, the spill they supposedly covered up is still leaking. So, you know, there's more than meets the eye what's going on with that. Okay. Norway and Japan are calling for Israel to stop its takeover of 1,000 acres of land in West Bank. They say that this land grab impedes the two-state peace solution. Other governments have said that the takeover is a violation of international law, and it is. Haaretz, September 3rd, 2014. Don't you know? ISIS, in this next article, is now threatening Russia, Putin, because he supports Syrian President Assad. When ISIS fighters overran Syria, Tabqa airport, they captured several Russian fighter planes sent to Assad by the Kremlin. An Islamic Chechen ally of the Putin responded by vowing to crush ISIS. Fox News, September 3rd. Video. And they should. There's just something wrong with this whole situation. If the mainstream media supports this, then there's something wrong with it, and vice versa. It's Video. Obama has pledged to defend Estonia, Latvia, or Latvia, or Latvia, I guess it is, and Lithuania, should they be invaded by Russia. And he is stationing U.S. military forces along Russian borders. Day by day, it appears that the U.S. and Russia and their global allies are drawing closer and closer to World War III. Do we need another world war? Another bankster war? I don't think so. It's hard to see how this can end well. CBS News, September 3rd. California. Experts are warning that the nuclear reactor at Diablo Canyon is a grave risk of a Fukushima-type accident because it is near earthquake fault lines. Michael Peck, the former federal inspector of the plant, is trying to have it shut down, but the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is ignoring his warnings and downplaying the dangers. I put dangers instead of this danger. There's dangers there. I mean, we have another Fukushima in America. It's all over with. Do you not understand that we're already in a life population reduction from the nuclear radiation off of Fukushima? I don't eat anything out of the Pacific. It's dangerous. It really is. This is InfoWars, September 3rd. You don't want to eat anything that's out of the Pacific. And that's a fact. Jack. Now, video. The Samoa American Abdrahman Muhammad recently was killed while fighting alongside ISIS in Syria. He previously had worked at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport and has security clearance from the FBI that allowed him to skip metal detectors and go directly to the tarmac. He worked for the airport from 2001 to 2011, fueling and cleaning planes. Fox News, September 3rd. See? Nothing is working, is it? Don't forget this. Black Start. It's coming up in an article. If we have an EMP or an X-flare attack on the U.S., we're going back to the dark ages. Your computer will not work. Nothing will work. It will all be naught. Anywho, let's go down to Syria now. Syria, a video has appeared on the internet that purports to show the beheading of a second American journalist. But don't jump to conclusions. The video was supplied by an organization that previously delivered several counterfeit bin Laden videos. It is staffed with neocons and CFR members who are notorious for pro-war propaganda. Oh yes, we gotta have a war. There's money to be made, don't you know? InfoWars, September 3rd. And it's true. There's money to be made. There's lots of money to be made if there's a war. To the banksters and the rest of them. They're all going to make buku bucks if we have another war. Especially a third war. World War, that is. Video. California. A doctor took his 3-year-old son to the hospital emergency room for a CAT scan for a swollen bruise on the boy's head. The boy had fallen from his scooter 11 days earlier, and his father wanted to see if there were internal injuries. The $20,000 bill was a shocker and outrageously fraudulent. The father forced the hospital to back down, but that's only because he was a doctor and knew what should have been charged. This article includes tips on what to do if this should happen to you. Fox News, September 3rd. See, they're overcharging people. I had my mother go in for a tooth cap. Cost her $1,500 just to get a temporary cap. Now they want $5,000 altogether to put a crown on. Does that sound reasonable to put a crown on? $5,000? These people are criminals in another way. Anyways, video. The EU is banning vacuum cleaners that use over 1,600 watts of power, which are the ones that work the best. This will not save electricity because consumers will have to vacuum longer. The next targets will include toasters, hair dryers, and lawnmowers, all in the name of fighting global warming, which of course doesn't exist. We're getting ready to go into a mini ice age, and these people are out there screaming global warming. They haven't seen what's going to happen this winter. It's going to be the worst winter that we ever had in the last 20, 30 years. At least, if not longer ago. Oh, it's a crime. Crimes happening all the times. Germany, more than a third of the wild boars are too radioactive to eat. A third of the wild boars are too radioactive to eat. Researchers blame the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear meltdown in Ukraine that resulted in nuclear fallout spreading across Europe. The Verge, September 1st. And you should keep that in mind. We have 4 reactors melting down in Fukushima, and that's good. They haven't put a vault over that. They haven't put a tomb over it. They haven't stopped it. It's melting into the earth. It's a Chernobyl 4 times. It's China Syndrome, the movie, going on right now 4 times. Oh, it should make you mad. It should make you upset. But, you know, it's okay. It hasn't affected me yet. But people are dying in the masses that are elderly in L.A. Look at all the actors that are dying that are elder in L.A. because of Fukushima. It's washing up on their shores. It's coming across in the mist. Every time they have fog in L.A., that's radioactive. Pull out your Geiger counter and go out when it's foggy and see not what I'm talking about. I want you to go and hide and see. Anyways. Video. Libyan militants take over an abandoned residential annex near the U.S. Embassy compound. The embassy itself is reported to be secure. CBS, September 1st. And it's secure, and they took over it. That's because the people are rising up and taking their country back. These what they call militants and these terrorists and all this stuff are people are pissed off that our government went over there and put their own governments in, and they're corrupt as our government is, and they're getting pissed off and they're standing up. They're not under fluoride water and stuff to be pacified. Anyways, video. New round of massive solar flares caught on camera. Fortunately, they were not aimed at Earth this time, but they were. The power grids of the world could have been knocked out for many months and even years. For information about this threat and what to do about it, see our documentary in production, Black Start. I showed you that earlier. BBC, August 31st. Okay, here we go. Let me get both of these articles in here. Oop. One too far. One too far. Oh, really? I can't get the top of this. Aha. I see. It's playing games. Here we go. Video. British parents of a 5-year-old boy with brain cancer were arrested in Spain because they were moving their child from the UK to Czech Republic to receive a therapy not available in the UK. Under collectivism, children are the property of the state, so are adults for that matter. And it is a crime to seek medical care other than what the state approves. Euronews, August 31st. This is what Obamacare, abomination care, wants to be. Okay, Brit. This is a related story. Brit and Naaman King, the parents who were arrested in Spain for removing their cancer-stricken 5-year-old son from a British hospital, were released after being treated like terrorists. They treat them like terrorists because they're not doing what the government tells them to do, because they are God and you are slaves. Don't you understand? The UK dropped its charges of the child's endangerment, but it appears that the boy will be required to return to UK to receive at least 2 rounds of chemotherapy. Mr. King rejected radiation treatment in the British hospital because he believes it could kill his son or turn him into a vegetable. Don't you understand yet? The Independent, September 3rd. This is what's going on. They want him sick. They want the child to die. They'll make money while he is dying. That's what it's all about. Money. It's all about taking from you and putting in my pocket. What's in your wallet? Type thing. Don't you see what's going on? Apparently you're not paying attention enough. Okay. An article to save. 7 years ago, Al Gore predicted that the northern polar ice cap could be completely gone by the summer of 2014. Now the facts are in. The polar regions that were open water 2 years ago is now frozen. The surrounding ice has expanded by 43% since 2012. Satellite photos dramatically prove that global warming is a hoax. Daily Mail, August 30th. And it is. It's a hoax. It was a carbon tax. They wanted to take money from your pocket and put in theirs. It's like, what's in your wallet? We want it in ours. Come on. Don't you see what they're doing? Come on. You're not paying attention. Anyways, Watch issued a warning that radical ISIS terrorists are operating on U.S.-Mexican borders in Juarez and are planning to attack the U.S. with car bombs and other explosive devices. Meanwhile, the U.S. Border Patrol is making the attack easy by ordering their agents to avoid the most crime-infested stretches of the border. The excuse is to avoid an international incident. That's a sad excuse. A very sad excuse. We should be down there in force, keeping the illegals out and promoting jobs for Americans only. No, we want to bring up all these people that will bring our wages down to $5 an hour building buildings and stuff. Well, as long as the rest of it comes down with it, meat 50 cents a pound, and bacon, 5 cents a pound, I agree. We can do that. But they're not going to do that. No. That's all going to stay where it's at. And you're going to have to pay more for less. Do you not understand what's going on? Of course, border shootings. The Department of Justice Homeland Security in Fort Bliss, the Army base in El Paso, are on alert for attacks that are described as imminent. Imminent. There are going to be attacks imminently because we're leaving the borders wide open so they can do it. They can bring nuclear weapons in. They can bring anything, chemical weapons, biological. It's okay as long as we have people coming from poor countries that need to come up here with diseases and everything and invade us. It's okay. We got to reduce the population by 90%. The Georgia Guidestones must be completed. It should piss you off. You should be out there rioting on them, rioting on the government right now, as far as protesting and out there and say, no, government, no. You're doing wrong. You're doing evil. You're doing whatever the worst governments in the world that we fought against in World War I, World War II, and now World War III. And Judicial Watch posted August 30th. Anyways, video. Minnesota. Most clothes contain formaldehyde and pesticide, which inspired this mother to create an organic clothing line for children, especially those who are hypersensitive to toxic chemicals. Care, with a K. Posted August 30th. Anyways, that's just horrible too. Do you know every t-shirt, you should wash everything you get from the store. Every clothes. Because they're made over in Bangladesh and other Indian countries, and they have all these diseases. And it's cuckoo that we're not doing that. It's just amazing that we allow these clothes to come over and you just put them on thinking, oh, these are great. Just put it on right now. No, they got pesticides and stuff because there are bugs over there they're trying to kill off before they send the clothes over here. And you should be awake. U.S. A new study shows that 25% drop in fatalities from prescription drug painkillers in states where marijuana is approved for medical purposes. RINF posted August 30th. Marijuana should have never been illegalized. It's a natural cure. It's like coca leaves. It's a natural, chewing coca leaves and not snorting it and turning it with kerosene and all that crap they'd use to make cocaine. Chewing the leaves is a natural cure for the body, a natural stimulant, like coffee. You don't take coffee and put kerosene on it and turn it into super caffeine. No, you drink a cup of coffee and that's what you get your stimulant from. Well, coca leaves are the same way and maybe with less side effects. Just chewing the coca leaves, it's called a natural hydrogenic property to it. That's what the natives used to chew the coca leaves for, to keep their, it was like a little stimulant and they used to go up with. Well, marijuana is the same way. It has 5,000 uses and they're not allowing any of them unless you pay them, the oil corporations and all of these craziness. Marijuana should be illegal because the only reason it's not is it's a direct competition against the pharmaceutical company because it can cure things that they charge thousands of dollars for. Just saying, stuff that you can go out and pick in your backyard will cure you of things over going to a doctor and getting a prescription from synthetics. Just saying, nature doesn't make $1,000 pill. No, it doesn't. It makes pennies to $1,000 pill. Anywho, an article that should be looked at. Wong Park is a master at origami using dollar bills. Click and be amazed at the lifelike shapes, stunning detail of what he's done with dollar bills. Look at that. That's an origami fish made out of the dollar bill. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, here's the analysis for this week. Reports and commentaries that look beyond the news to identify historical facts and trends that help to place the news in perspective. Fast food workers, organized by the Service Employees International Union, rallied in cities across the U.S. to demand a national minimum wage of $15 an hour. We are sympathetic for those at the entry level of a job market, but the fact remains that a minimum wage of $15 will result in a huge raise in fast food prices, and many jobs would be cut. Instead of getting better pay, they would become unemployed welfare recipients. Just look at what this kind of thinking has done to Venezuela. Collectivists never learn basic economics and truly believe they can legislate prosperity by raising everything. Let's raise this, let's raise that. It's all good because I'm making several $100,000 a year. Let's raise them up to $15 an hour. Well, hell, that's what I make. So I'm going to be a minimum wage person and then have everything else go up? Oh, yeah, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're after. NPR, September 4th. They want this to be... Oh, you do not realize it. Minimum wage is an entry wage job. If you don't have any education, take night school. Learn a trade. Learn to be an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, something of that nature. You'll make more money than $7.95 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is now in most places. You just gotta... I mean... It's just wrong. That's just wrong to just make minimum wage $15 an hour. That means I should get a raise to be $25 an hour in that case. An extra $10 because I'm worth that extra $10 because I have a skill. And these entry-level people don't have a skill. They don't have a skill like a trade. I'm just saying. And... like I said, it's going to create welfare recipients who are dependent on the government, and they're going to do whatever the government touts. If the government says do this, or you lose that, they're going to do it. It's just, just wrong. We got corrupt governments going on out there, and people just don't see it. Okay, a video. A new poll shows that support for border security in the U.S. has grown from 25% to 33% following the recent influx from the southern border. Tom Hogsden, the sheriff of Bristol County in Massachusetts, reports that over 37,000 children have been placed in foster care from January to July of this year. Taxpayers will be devastated because each child will cost them $9,000 for schooling and medical costs. There is a backlog of 400,000 immigrants cases with dockets scheduled into 2017. Hodgson recommends changing the law so that the South American illegal immigrants are deported right away instead of being processed into legal residence. He advocates sending the administrative judges to the border to hear cases quickly instead of scheduling them for the distant future and housing the illegals for years at taxpayer expense. Finally, the border needs to be secured. PBS, September 3rd. Do you not understand what's going on? They're bringing these illegals in. There's 3 different scenarios to this. 1, they're bringing them in to be Democratic voters. 2, they're bringing them in to bring down the wages in America, so there's nobody making good money to survive on. And 3, they're bringing them in just for warriors, actually. And you just have to look at it that way. There's three theories out there. Okay, video. Oh, wait, let's go up here to the star. 30 million Americans are on antidepressant drugs. 70% of the population is hooked on 1 or more prescription drugs. And mothers who take antidepressant drugs during pregnancy are 4 times more likely to have an autistic baby. These are just 3 among 21 facts in this article about the pharmaceutical monster that now stalks the nation. American Dream, September 2nd. Don't you know? The pharmaceuticals are not good for you. They're synthetics. They're made to make a profit. They're not naturals. They're not... I mean, if you get a medical book that doctors use from the 1930s, it's all natural plants. It's dandelions. It's, you know, this or that. And there's ways of making little cures out of these things. Cures. I'm not saying treatments. Cures. And, well, they don't want you to know about that because they just want to treat you. So you're sick all the time and have to keep coming back and making buku bucks for the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors who was taught by the pharmaceutical companies. But that's beside the point. You're not supposed to know that. That's a secret. Shh. Video. Max Kaiser reports that not only is fracking a danger to human health and the environment, but it's also a financial scam. Output from shale wells declined so quickly, 60% after the first year, that they can never be profitable to investors. It takes more energy to draw gas out of the ground than is produced, and frack drilling is twice as expensive than traditional methods. Max compares the current fracking bubble to the dot-com bubble. Fascinating analysis by Russia Today, posted September 2nd. And he's right. He's right. You can't make profit out of all this stuff. It's all to make profit for the people right now who are in charge of all this. It's a right now profit. And it just can't, the investors are being hoodwinked. Put it that way. Star. Another star. God, there's a lot of stars this week. There are allegations from many sources, including a commander of Free Syrian Army, that the U.S. and Saudi Arabia and Israel are covertly backed Islamic terrorism. One reason for doing so, according to a senior employee of the Dutch Justice Ministry, is to create a backlash against Islam and justification for aggressive U.S. Israeli military action in the Middle East. And of course, yes, that's what it is, because they got mineral wealth out there that needs to be taken by the banksters and corporations, and the industrial military complex must have those minerals. Don't you know? Washington Blog, posted September 2nd. Star. Another star. God, this week is star-filled. The militant Islamic group ISIS is the new brand name for Al-Qaeda, the toilet, in Iraq. Would it be of interest to you to know who created it and why? Would it interest you to know who funded it and how? Would it interest you to know what is the real purpose is? This analysis answers those questions and documents every point. SCG News, posted August 30th. And that's it for the news for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. These are headlines you must know. They're not telling you this on the mainstream lies, media. They're out there with their cute little actresses and their skimpy outfits to tell you that we need to go to war. We need to throw your children on the bayonets of the enemies of us and Israel. Oh, go ahead. Throw them out there. It's good. Look at me. I'm all cute and princey-like. Yeah, that's what you're up against. You're up against an advertising. You're up against an entertainment. That's what television is all about. Entertainment. It has nothing to do with giving you real facts or news, unless it's something local or something that's happening. But then, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead, right? Anywho, here's the great photos of the week. Somebody caught this on film. Can't believe they caught this on film. It's a natural law. Every living thing is food for some other living thing. And for some reason I lost the control of this page. So I guess that's it. I can't show you the rest of the page. It just died on me. There's so much adware and crap out there. It's affecting my computer. I gotta go through my system over the weekend and find out where this crap is and kill it. I want to kill these people. I wish I could just send this back to them in tenfold and have it infect their systems and take them out. I mean, it's just, I wish I could do stuff like that. Because right now, my screen just locked up. And I can't go. I got some advertisement that's trying to load on here. And if I kill the page, I go to here. See what happens? Well, that's it. That's the end of the news for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and a better tomorrow. Until next time, be good or be good at it, and good day.